It's a full moon. It's a full moon. Hello, everyone. So what's going on in the week of 23rd to the 30th? And we're going to find out here as we open up. But first and foremost, hello, tribe. It's been a while, but we're back here now for Sundays, and it's going to be a podcast. Okay, so tune in for that, and we'll go through the week to see what we all can expect. And of course, this is a general reading for all of us, just to see where the planets are, what they're going to do for us, how they make us tick, and so forth. And I think we're going to be looking at a week where we're looking at breakthrough for very many people. I hear this on a day-to-day basis through my clients. There are people now stepping out into new paradigms. Others are leaving old paradigms, and so forth. So the shift is quite extreme, and a lot of that has to do with Saturn now has picked up speed again. Okay, it's been sleeping for many months. It turned direct there September 6th, and when a big planet like that turns around, it takes a little time to start moving forward again, and it's sitting here in an aspect to Uranus. Okay, so you might ask yourself, what is it? You've been contemplating these last months, right? You've had ample time to figure out what you no longer want and what you are now trying to configure, and some of you reconfigure in your life, because Uranus is all about renewal, new things, exciting things, and so forth. And Saturn has everything to do with grounding and substance, shape and form, and putting in a lot of responsibility behind it. It's taking on a new, what I'd like to say, maybe a karmic direction, right? So there's this need to break free as we're settling down new foundations. And as we start off here on the 23rd, which it is today, well, this Saturn is being a little bit challenged by the Sun and Mercury in Libra. And by the way, happy birthday, Libras. It is your Sun day today, right? Sun moving into your sign. And this is good for you. It's good for your sister signs, which is Aquarius and Gemini, of course, which is all going to give all of you great energy. Those of you that might feel a little challenged by it could be Arians, and that of Capricorn and Cancer. That's just because they're squared and opposed. But let me tell you what this is doing. Libra loves to balance. It loves to look at things from both sides. It loves harmony and so forth. And it needs to make decisions so that it can scale itself. But Mercury being so close now to the Sun and in such a beautiful aspect to Mars, today is a great day. And this goes for all of us. And this is also because the Sun Mercury is in a beautiful aspect to Mars. It just jazzes up everything. Mars being that feisty planet of giving us a lot of physical energy, giving us a lot of spunk to go for the things that are important to us. And Mars being in Aquarius, well, you Aquarians, you're going to feel it the most, right? It's in your sign. But your sister signs of Libra and Gemini, they will feel this energy very much so, being sister signs in air. And what that does, it means that there's an intellectual capacity which is really now trying to balance itself out. It's challenging itself. It's thinking outside of the box. That's how the Aquarians think. They're always onto something new, a new idea, a new concept, and thinking how they can do it differently. They want to explore, right? So you might just feel here today, this Sunday, that you want to explore something different. And I can see the communication of this is trying to fit into something that is harmonious, something that is something that could balance your inner self, your higher self, but also something that can attract you to what is beautiful, right? Things more so from the soul. So the soul, the mind is very much focused here this Sunday. And then the challenge is how can I do it? How can I ground it differently? Saturn's coming in squaring off on this. And so we might look at what we need to do to overcome. There could be a couple of things thrown upon our path today that we might have to work and tweak out. But it's not a long-lasting thing because both Mercury and the Sun moves quickly. So over the next couple of days, so say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, could be where you're really struggling to get that balance that you foresee, that you know that you want to achieve, but then there's that practical sense that comes in, leaving you having to juggle, to tweak certain things. But I think that challenge in itself is also a growth aspect, right? We grow from our challenges. Venus in the sign of Scorpio, guys, what does that do? Well, we know Scorpio is deep, it's emotional, it's a water sign, right? And Scorpio leaves no stone unturned. It goes off the deep end. It looks at things from both a higher perspective, but also it can cut under the belt if it is threatened. That could be the stinger of Scorpio, but the high aspect of Scorpio is the eagle. So for a lot of you, and depending, of course, where your planets are in your own personal individual chart, that is, and where this Venus is angling off on those planets, well, here in our general scope for this week, it is lining up with Neptune. It's lining up with the moon. And of course, we have a full moon here tomorrow on Monday the 24th, and it's what we call a harvest moon. And harvest moons are always a little different, right? It's that time of year where we can go out and harvest the things that we have been cultivating throughout the whole entire year, not just from the new moon 2 weeks ago, right? We always harvest something at a full moon after I have put down our intentions and so forth. But here Sunday, it's in the sign of Pisces. So Sunday we're feeling a little emotional, we're feeling creative, we're in a good place, great aspect to Venus and Pluto. So there's these emotional undertows of just wanting to enjoy. It's a nice day, it's a great day. There might be some excitement going on as well. And as this moon progresses into Monday, into the sign of Aries, well, hey, listen, Aries, you're having the full moon in your sign. More power to you, right? But that goes for your sister signs as well, as like Sagittarius and Leo. You three signs, you're going to feel and benefit maybe the most from this full moon. It will allow you to kind of really look at those gut-wrenching, good feelings of moving forward, empowerment, and so forth. There's a lot of strength, but also perhaps vision. Now, when we look at where we're heading this week and into next week, both Mars and Venus, they will maintain their position pretty much throughout this month and coming into October. But what they're trying to do, Venus is looking at empowering itself in the aspect that it's growing towards. It's got a good aspect to Saturn. So it's holding on to what you believe emotionally. It's hanging on to what it is that you foresee that you're working on. So all that is good too. It's locking it in, right? You're feeling super strong on your vision taking on shape and form. Vision being Neptune. Venus and Neptune, they dream, and they dream beautifully, they dream artfully, they dream in form of visions and so forth. Saturn is trying to anchor that in, and you'll see that throughout this whole entire week, right? And then it's moving towards Jupiter, which we're going to talk more about as we advance into next week. Next Sunday, it'll be much closer. We can talk more about it then, and it will be advancing into a transit, or should I say aspect, of Pluto. And Pluto's super, super powerful, right? So in other words, there's an increase straight throughout this week that you're going to be feeling is leading to a higher mount, okay? You're climbing this whole week. So make sure that what it is you see, whatever it is that you feel, is something that's important to you because you're building, you're structuring. Saturn's helping you structure that cause that you're out, this quest that you're on, this Venetian drive of beauty, love, harmony. But Venus is also, again, the financial aspects of things. So you could see how that might just strengthen. And that could be a part of your challenges this week where you're cutting through, breaking through. And that is a square that we talked about initially from the Sun and Saturn, right? But you're doing well. It's really a time for you to believe and trust. And when I say believe, that is the moon right here today on Sunday in its aspect to Neptune, is to trust, believe in yourself, your vision, your potential, and so forth. There's a lot of transformative energies around you right now. And I'm feeling that it has been over these last few weeks. I think many of you have felt that something has been calling you, right? And if you at all are good about listening to your higher self, I believe that you have put yourself into situations that will allow you to actually be a part of the transformation that the universe and your higher self is trying to shift you into. So yes, I hear it on a daily basis. I talk to a lot of people every single day, clients and so forth, and there's different challenges for different people, of course, and I can sense that there has been stress as they are breaking free, breaking away. They've been seeing changes in their life. Sometimes if it is by one's own choice, it's easier to deal with because then we're behind our choices, right? We know where we're steering. More difficult it is when these changes are coming from the external side of life, right? When changes come to you when you're not expecting it, and then it opens up the Pandora box of now what? Where do I take this? What is it going to do? And especially after a period where, as all of you know, we've had a lot of retrograde planets straight through that of 2018, right? We still have a couple. We got Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, but they're the outer planets, so we don't notice them that much, but we've had all the other personal planets retrograde from top of the year and straight through, and it's delayed a lot of things for a lot of people, spring, summer especially. And of course now it's like you're just ready to rock and roll and get on with it, right? As the planets have woken up. And then if changes from the outer world comes in unexpectedly with that wow factor, then it's like, but what do I do now, right? Thing is, stay true to yourself. Stay true to your vision. This is what is going to really bring you into new realms. And I have to say, though, whatever is happening now in September, just you wait till you get into October. Then you'll start seeing shape and form on all of this. As we go throughout the week, you will feel that your communication with the people around you, whether that's in your workspace, in your private space, it's all about justice. It's all about balancing. It's about allowing ourselves to rise above and look at both sides before we make any kind of judgments, right? Because whenever we judge, that is actually us telling the universe that we don't understand something. That's why we're judging it. Because if we did understand, we would simply understand and not judge, because when we understand, we see, right? So whoever is in a blind spot, for the time being, this is their lesson, not to judge, but to see both sides. And that is the lesson of Libra right here. And as we're starting out here, and for a month to come, this is the lesson for all of us, is to look at that and ask ourselves, am I seeing both sides before I state my mind, right? So that's always the mission. That's always the calling of Libra. And that is to be a good balancer, negotiator, and the go-between person, right? And Venus is in Scorpio is also telling us that, yes, in spite, we might feel things very deeply. How are we going to express it, right? Because Scorpio can sting, but the wisdom of Scorpio is like nothing else. It's that high eagle. Because the more we see, the more we understand, the more, not just knowledge, because knowledge, it can be destructive, knowledge without wisdom is worth nothing, actually. But that higher knowledge that transcends into wisdom, that is the eagle. The more you see, the less you speak, right? You hold it to yourself. So this is the lesson of Venus and Scorpio right now, is ask yourself, what am I seeing around me in situations, whether it is in my private life or in my work life, and what am I picking up? What am I observing? And should I speak my mind or should I hold my words? That is something that I feel is super important. All last week when Venus was in true opposition to Uranus, you could have probably seen that last week was a little bit more challenging because it wanted to express, it wanted to come out with judgment, it wanted to say things, right? It was intense. It's still intense. as long as it's transiting Scorpio. But it was in opposition to Uranus. Uranus is trigger happy and might have said a few words, right? But this week, it's all about hankering it back in, finding your balance, finding that position within yourself to be the observer rather than the participant, especially in those big situations. Unless people come to you and ask for your opinion, it's good to hold one's opinion. That is the wisdom of the higher Scorpio. Now, Jupiter beautifully aligned this week. It is aligning to Neptune and Pluto. All of those three planets together is all about manifestation. So I'm taking that there's quite a few out there that have been preparing yourselves for certain things in your life that you've been wanting to prepare. Especially you Scorpios, you have Jupiter there in your sign. You might have been feeling this particularly, that there's things in your life that you would like to change up, right? So just ask yourself, what have you been doing this last month? Your mind has probably been working with it a whole lot. And then we have Pluto in Capricorn, of course. So you Capricornians have been under transformation for a long time. But for this period, and neither Jupiter or Neptune moves quickly, so it's going to be lingering for a little bit. But you've all been under transformation and visited by Jupiter and Neptune, flanked by them, by sextile. So you're expanding your vision, your sense of self, self-worth, and how you're wanting to expand it with dreams, visions, those things that are all good. So I could see a lot of wonderful things taking place for a lot of you Capricornians, and so which is really, really good. To a certain degree, I have to say that this also includes you Cancerians, though it's coming from a midpoint down there where the same planets are involved. And so for you, you're aiming high, aren't you? You're really skyrocketing into it. Your other signs, well, not too much going on, but let's take a look at the rest of what is coming up here for this week, because why? It is definitely now rocking. We have straight through here the 24th Monday. We got the full moon. Like I said, it's in Aries, taking place here in the States at least, towards the evening. It should be beautiful. It's a harvest moon and whatnot. The 25th, we have more so communication with making decisions coming up. This is Mercury and Jupiter. They're communicating. So any talks, any presentations, that might just be of importance, especially when it has to do with setting your grounds, your foundation, making those choices. This is where this is going to come in handy. Wednesday is pretty much nice and clear. Not too much taking place there. It's more like a prolongation from the 24th coming into Thursday. Well, this is also a day where I feel that you're wrapping it up, getting it together. It's a great day. The moon is now moving from Aries into Taurus. What that is going to do, it's like we've had all this energy, right? Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, partially until midnight, beyond with Aries until Thursday. But the rest of the week will then calm down differently. This is the moon coming into that of Taurus. It grounds us. We become more resilient as far as sticking to the things that we set out earlier in the week. Now we want to ground them. It's a quick transit. It's only lasting till that of Saturday. But following the moon cycles really help us from that of the new moon to the full moon. And speaking of that, I have a free gift for you here, my friends. And this is something we're going to listen to, we're going to watch, and then more information coming in right behind it. All right? It's a full moon. It's a full moon. It's a full moon. It's a full moon. And it is harvest time. You want to reap all the benefits of what you've been working on since the new moon. So it is time to put that bracelet on. Look at that full moon on your arm and know that it's time to ask the universe to bring it in. You are a full moon magnet. That's how it works. Get your bracelet today. Give us some love. Give us a thumbs up, a like, and get your full moon bracelet today. It's a full moon. It's It's a full moon. It's a full moon. It's a full moon. And you know, it is harvest time. You want to reap all the benefits of what you've been working on since the new moon. So it is time to put that bracelet on. Look at that full moon on your arm and know that it's time to ask the universe to bring it in. Yes, that is my gift for you. Go get your free bracelet today. I have a link down below. It is for you. It is for your friends, you know, so please just feel free to share. Just share the video so they can get the link as well. And it is as long as supplies last. So you might want to get to it really quick, right? But yes, this is all about astrology. And the bracelet is about the full moon. It's empowerment, right? It reminds us of what we have put forward from the new moon phase. When we place our intentions, we always talk about that. And then, of course, full moon is harvest time. And it's so timely because we have this full moon here on the 24th, right? Now, it is from my supplier and it is in the Far East, so it can take a little while. Just know that it could take up to 30 days. Sometimes it gets there in 20 days, all depending on where you live and how busy they are. So be patient. But it is free. You just cover shipping, and that is all. And in the meanwhile, you can also browse around other things that are there. But we will be sending you this astrological podcast every Sunday morning, okay? It's going to be uploaded, scheduled to that, so you can have your morning coffee and listen to the upcoming week and what you can expect, what energies are at work in our consciousness, right? So if you're not already subscribed, hit the subscribe button, but more important, hit the bell. The bell will allow notification to come to you whenever the videos are uploaded and available to you. So just head to the description field down below. That's where you have the direct link to this bracelet for as long as they last, right? And I will see you guys next week for our next astrological podcast. Bye, guys. It's a full moon. It's a full moon. It's